So in this one we're going to add the advanced third person controller project, and we're going to integrate it inside our climbing system. We're going to add, of course, the advanced third person controller because the other one was a little bit flat. Okay, and this one has dynamic vaulting, dynamic climbing, although we're going to eliminate this feature since, you know, we have a whole climbing system and we have differences, playing different animations on incline, declines, when falling from heights, and all cool stuff like that. So I'm going to do a few changes in the advanced third person controller first, and basically the only change I want right now is if I go into my scripts, okay, side state manager, we want basically inside the is clear, we were doing a recast forward to see if there is an obstacle. If there was, we were checking the angle, all that. If it was a wall, we were checking if we can jump over that wall, and if it wasn't a wall, if we couldn't vault over the wall, we were checking if we were going to climb over that object. Okay, we're going to eliminate the climbing, or not really eliminate, we're just simply going to comment this out. Another thing we're going to add, basically, yeah, we're going to come over here and say add an else statement, or actually we're going to add it onto the other project since it's safer that way. Okay, and close this. Go into your prefab if you do not have the prefab. Characters, or controllers, we need the controller. You can take the camera holder too, although, you know, we already have one. So let's see, we were not going to take the camera holder in this case, just so that we know, you know, how we can tackle errors that come up from this case. So we also do not need the Bezier points. Okay, so you can untick this. As I said, we are not going to take the camera manager script. Okay, so we have all these. Hit export, and when you export it, then you can come back into the climb system. Now I'm going to pull this project into my other screen. Okay, and we are at the climbing climbing project. Now I'm going to add my package. Okay, we have our package. We click import, and of course the first thing it's going to get is that we have a few errors right from the start, and instead of fixing this, we're actually going to do some more errors we're going to create. And this one is the namespace controller is the previous controller basically. So what we're going to do is hit delete over here. We're going to delete the namespace, the input handler we had before for our climbing system again. Okay, and we have, it says an error for the camera scripts. This goes from the character controller. Okay, we have state manager. Now it would have been wiser to delete the scripts before we add the new scripts, okay, since they have the same name, but we do not get errors since they also have their own namespaces. Now we're going to go and fix into our camera handle. This is the previous script we had, and because I know the errors we're going to get, we need camera handle, and first of all the error is that it's not a singleton. So what we're going to do is going to add a static public camera handle singleton, okay, and then void awake singleton equals this. Now we'll go into our input handler, and instead of camera manager, we're going to delete this. We're going to using controller, or you can change the namespace from the camera manager. It's exactly the same thing. So we're going to set this camera handle, and instead of camera manager, we're going to say camera handle. Okay, this was the easy one. Now we need to go and fix everything else we need on the on our state manager, basically. The two stuff we're going to need, client behavior says that it doesn't find state manager. Of course it doesn't find it because we deleted it, and it can find it. You can see that we're not using the controller namespace anymore, but we can use the namespace of third person controller. Because the third person controller namespace has a state manager, when we close this, you're going to see all these little errors over here. Okay, so let's fix this. Okay, no, of course I know what the errors are, so bear with me. Obviously, wait till I finish before you try and do what I do. Let's go back to the way down, and we're going to do public void enable controller and public void disable controller. Okay, and I also know what these need to be. Rigid body will be kinematic false, and controller collider is trigger will also be false when we're enabling our controller. We also have inside this third person controller, we also have an enum that controls our states. So we're just going to simply set it as idle. This doesn't matter so much, since if it's anything other than the hold or vaulting state, the current state, it's going to automatically set it to the correct state. So to disable the controller, we're either going to do, it's best to just use hold instead of vaulting or on air, since vaulting will try and do other stuff. Okay, so we're just simply going to say hold, not vault, hold. Okay, so is kinematic then true, and true back again. Now let's fix the angle, and the angle was that was over here. Okay, simply set ground angle to 0. So if it's lower than 0.3, the absolute value of ground angle is lower than 0.3, then just set hard-coded to 0. This just fixes a slight error. It's nothing nothing special. Okay, so let's close this, and we still of course get a few errors, and let's fix those errors. One error is that the states doesn't have is ground forward, but I know for a fact that the new states has a simple ground forward instead of is ground forward. And we're going to go way down over here, and we have, and actually let's do it this way. Okay, now it says get component state controller. We're going to turn that to third person controller, and over here we have jump forward, jump back, and all this stuff. Instead of, because we had the rigid body saved into another script, but now we don't need the other script, we simply have it inside the state manager. So we're going to copy this also, and we're going to just change the references. Okay, like this, like this, like this, and we're pretty much done. Not done with this script. Okay, no errors anymore. Of course, the controller is a whole different thing. It has a whole different Animator, and it also has other stuff that you see over here that are missing. And let's fix this. We need input handler, and we also need to set a value, basically the first value into the volt curve, just so that it always applies the correct speed when you're volting over an object. And then second script is of course state manager. And handle movement player, and we do not need the other one. Okay, we are over here. I'm going to change the values since I know the new values I'm going to use. And also in this one, instead of having the character already in place, we actually need to delete this. And we're also going to go into model prefab and say and assign basically the character after we have assigned. We also need to change the height of the collider, and okay, just go watch the advanced third person controller video and see why we do this. Okay, and it's pretty much set up at this point. Okay, now however, we still need to handle the animations we have over here. So I'm going to do this. Okay, they're gone, and I'm going to go into the other third person controller, the other animator for the third person controller, and you can see it has different variables and all that. Okay, but basically what we need is this. Before we do this, we're going to hit print screen, and we're going to go into actual paint. Okay, and we can take just this, then put it on the second screen. We do this because the Unity doesn't exactly let you open a new instance of the animator. Let's try it. Okay, it always, you can do it, but it's kind of a hack, so let's do it this way. We have our variables over here, and we're going to go into the climb animator controller, and we're going to add the variables that are missing. For instance, we need a boolean of special, we need a boolean of special type. Now make sure you have the same names as you have into the other controller. Of course, we need a boolean on locomotion. We need we have on air. We need jump type, but the jump type is one has capital, the other has a lowercase. Now you can just change the names, but I'm not sure what will happen. We're going to see, and actually let's delete it, and we will see if they need to use a different variable. So we're going to need a boolean mirror jump. We're going to need a float incline. We're going to also need a float, I think it's a float, or maybe it's an integer. No, it's a float. Okay, float jump. And we're also going to need a boolean on sprint. So we have pretty much, and yeah, this jump is not really needed. We're going to reuse this one. So we have all our variables we're going to need, almost all our variables, and we're going to go again into the animator controller of the third person controller, and we're going to do, okay, I'm selecting the whole state manager, the whole state machine. Okay, and back to the climbing animator, and we're going to do a copy paste. You can see that it tried to take some stuff, it reorganized this, basically it bring the horizontal and vertical down here, and What we need to do now is, of course, recheck all this stuff. So this is really easy to do. All we have to do is dismount end, states, locomotion, and then where we want them to go. Since this is the dismount, then we want him to go back to idle. Jump from wall, states, locomotion. He's probably jumping, so you want to blend into an animation that he's on mid-air. Hacking to jump on air, the same thing. Locomotion, mid-air. Okay, we have the stuff. And before we see that to climb, I know for a fact we also need from let's idle together to go from states, locomotion, and let's say mid-air. And we're also going to add, it's the only one, we're going to add a transition parameter, and we're going to say if climbing is false. Okay, so we've set up how we get out of this, of the climbing basically, state behavior. Now we need to set up how we get into the climb state behavior. So we're going to go over here, we're going to go inside locomotion, and we're also going to go inside this locomotion also. Okay, and we are back where we were moving with the third person controller. Now we're going to set as layer default the idle turns, of course, and we have the other animations, and we also have climb up high, climb up medium. Okay, you won't need this, you can delete them. So from which states we can actually climb, idle, walk, and when we're running. To do that, we're going to take a transition from idle turns, locomotion, states, locomotion, locomotion, climb, to climb, and here where we can use this. So, okay, we are on the idle state. So instead of just adding it into run to hang, we can simply transit into to hang stationary. Okay. Of course, we need to set up when we want to, climb. So we're going to say when climbing is true. Apart from that, we can also set climb when we're walking, to climb. Okay, we do not have walk to climb, we have run to hang. You can use that. Again, states, climb, to climb, run to hang. Let's fix the transitions. So, climbing to true. Again, climbing to true. Okay, you can fix and tailor the transitions your own way. From to stop, we do not want to play anything, so we have all these. Now, let's see if we need to change anything else, just because we reused some of the stuff. Okay, and the other one we need to add is, of course, from mid-air to the up layer to, if you are on the air and you're falling on a wall, if you want to climb. So transition will be climb to climb, and on air climb, and this will be climbing to true. Okay, let's check. You can see the jump type. The problem we have is because we do not have a jump type with a lowercase, so we're going to change that to jump type with the uppercase. And we also need to change that also into equals. Jump type also equals 2, and jump type also equals 1. Okay, we have one of these. Let's see if we need anything else. I think there's also one jump somewhere that we're missing. So let me see if I can find it. Otherwise, it's just going to show itself. So yeah, I think we might be clear that we do not need to add anything. So we'll see. I think we're done with the animator. We're going to see if there's any problems arising from that. Since we reused some of these animations, some of the Animator parameters, we need to go into our managers and to our statics and change basically the animation name we have over here, and we're simply going to change this to jump type with higher case J. Okay, so that's about mostly it. If we hit play now, we will see where there is an error. Okay, we have an object. This is from the climb curve of the third person controller. We do not even need this, can delete it. We're keeping it. Okay, of course I'm not deleting it because you might want to add something or expand on something like that. Okay, we are over here. We see that we cannot add a rigid body controller because we already have a rigid body controller, so let's fix that by simply removing it. Hit play again, and you can see that we have our third person controller. Let's see, let's add an obstacle. Let's add it over here, and let's try and capture all the cases that we might need. Let's try it like this. Let's raise it a little bit, something like that. Okay, let's create some more. Like that. Let's make another cube, or actually let's take one of these. Let's remove the climb points, remove the manager. We're going to keep the box collider, and we are over here. Let's lower it a little bit, like this, something like that, I don't know, or let's put it closer to us. I guess there's no point in walking all that distance. And we're going to create an angle. Let's go with 30 degrees. Let's go global. Let's maybe 30 degrees. It's a little bit, it's not actually 30 degrees, but anyway, let's tend a little bit more. Let's put it like that. Let's turn it the other way, and let's put also that one the other way. And we're going to keep this since our controller is probably going to be able to handle this. We're going to see if there's any problems arising from that. Okay, we have our controller. We're going to hit play, and we're going to go and fall down. You can see immediately that it didn't work in the climb system. We had this to stop. Okay, we're going to actually eliminate that, or we're actually going to think about how we can fix that on the next video, because I want some other stuff to cover. But you can see that because we have our new third person controller, is that it's so easy to simply just vault over objects. Of course, we still have the limitations we had on the previous controller, so you know, watch those videos too. And we have our vaulting or walking on an incline, which didn't work at this point, and I think it's that 0 that did the job. So let's go and fix it or remove it at this point, and we're going to see. I'm going to, you know, debug those off camera, since there's no point in me on that. Of course, we can play different animations when we are falling, and I can see an error, and that is, I know, is because of the angle. So I'm going to just leave this in. Anyway, okay, we have or let's make this, or let's lower this actually. Let's make it so that if it's over 0.2, and let's see what will happen. Okay, we have all the functionalities of both the climbing system. We can still go and climb. But the only problem is at this point is that, okay, he's falling, he's playing a different animation. Of course, this was an error. This was a debug, which has to do with the distance. We're going to fix that I guess we can fix it also in this one. Okay, we have all this. We can jump back, we can fall, we can play a different animation that says the other stuff. We have all this. However, we have systems. Okay, it now plays. You can tailor everything and every other behavior, from its own scripts. Otherwise, we do this to be very modular. And we can also walk back. He didn't walk back because he hit the other one. So let's see. Let me think. He should be able to walk this over, to be honest. Or maybe he needed to be a little bit higher up. Okay. Let's make this higher. Oh yeah, you should have said so. We took care actually of that behavior. Okay, and it's this one. So instead of getting this one, we can remove this, and let's take we'll climb. Let's take the second one and let's make it like that. Or I guess we don't even need this one too. Let's try it now. Now, of course, the scripts might need a little bit of changing a little bit of stuff since we took care of some functionalities. Let's go the other way. Let's go up. Let's go down. You can see we clamp the velocities and all that, and it still doesn't work. But it doesn't work because it cannot find a position this way probably. Let's see. If I raise this, okay, it was a little bit lower. If I raise this, it will play the behavior that he walks up. So let me raise it again, or actually let me raise everything. Maybe it's too much or not. Okay, it plays. It has all the behaviors we had in the advanced third-person controller except the climbing up, because we have already a climbing behavior. Now the only problem is that in this one, if we are pressing space, we're jumping. Okay, if we are pressing space near a wall, we're climbing. So the system, of course, will not know out of the box what to play first. To fix that, we're going to go into our state manager. Let's go add a public reference to this. Let's go set our references. There's no need to have this in your, in the inspector to show. We're going to add climb behavior, and we're going to say climb B. Obviously, we need to assign it, so we'll do it over here. Climb behavior. Oops. Okay, we are over here, and we can say climb behavior. Inside the climb behavior now, we have look for obstacle, which it was somewhere on the top. So let's go to the top. Let's take it from the top. Actually, we have fixed update. Okay, look for climb spot. We call this over here when we're pressing space. Remove that. tailor this a little bit, and we can say make this public. Okay, now into our input handler, you can of course add it on the state manager, but let's just add it on the input handler. I think it makes better. And inside update states from input, we are over here, we have states jump input. We're going to add boolean jump input and basically copy paste this. Okay, and whenever we are pressing, or we are pressing the jump button, first we're going to see if states, if we are pressing the button, then we're going to do states climb behavior, look for climbing spot. Okay, and if states climb spot, not climb behavior climbing, then the jump input will simply be false. Okay, so it's not going to jump. If it's not climbing, then it's not going to jump. So this will fix problems with when you are on a wall and you're trying to jump and it doesn't know if it's going to climb or jump. Without that, then you will be just stick on the wall, wait till the jump animation finishes, and then he was going to climb. Okay, and if you're holding space and walking on the edge, then you're going to fall down. Okay, we're going to leave that as it is for now. We're going to address that into the next videos. And a nice thing about this right now is, and it's just a behavior that derived from everything we added. Okay, previously when we are on a wall that didn't have any climbing spots, it didn't do anything. Okay, now it's just going to play the jump idle animation. So he's just going to do this happy little jump, which was a happy little accident. And I can leave my okay, we can jump when we're not moving. We can walk over obstacles, or obstacles like this. We can run over the obstacles and all that. Okay, so we can now continue going back and tailoring our climb system. Okay, there's a lot of few other stuff I want to add, or actually not really just there's a lot of stuff. Of course, we've seen a few bugs that I need to fix, or you might fix them before me, and then you can tell me what you did. Okay, so we have everything with a much better third-person controller instead of the simple one we had before, and we also keep playing all these different animations and all this stuff, and all our animations I've edited from the raw mockup data. Okay, and if we jump, if we are pressing a button when we land, then he's going to roll. If you do not press a button, he's going to play that hard landing animation and all that. And if he's only jumping for a little bit, it's playing a whole different animation. So that's basically it for this part. And go check all the videos for the advanced third person controller if you haven't, because it's a lot of stuff, and we will see on the next one how we can handle everything else. Okay, so you know what to do. Like, subscribe. If you like what we're doing and want to see it continue, then consider supporting me either on Patreon or by grabbing a project or two. If you buy this project, of course, it's two projects together. And so we can keep continuing, keep making all these nice projects and scaling them up as we go, and we keep adding, and we pretty much have so many cool stuff. So, I'll see you next time.